I've been working as a cemetery caretaker for 5 years now. And I've grown accustomed to the silence and solitude that come with the job. But there's one thing that still gets to me. The midnight shift. It's as if the darkness amplifies every little sound, making the creaks and groans of the old headstones sound like whispers in my ear. I try to tell myself it's just my imagination. But deep down, I know it's something more. The first time I noticed it was on a particularly stormy night. The wind was howling through the cemetery like a pack of wolves. And I was huddled in the small caretaker's cottage, trying to stay warm. Suddenly, I heard a faint scratching sound coming from outside. At first, I thought it was just a branch scraping against the window. But then I heard it again. A low, deliberate scratch, followed by a pause. And then another scratch. It was a rhythmic pattern, like someone was trying to send a message. I tried to brush it off as mere paranoia. But the sound continued, echoing through the night. The next night, I decided to investigate. I grabbed my flashlight and stepped out into the darkness, following the sound to a grave in the far corner of the cemetery. The headstone belonged to a woman named Emily, who had died in the 1800s. As I approached, the scratching stopped, and an eerie silence fell over the grave. I felt a chill run down my spine as I noticed something strange. The dirt on top of the grave was freshly disturbed, as if someone had recently dug there. I didn't think much of it at the time, assuming it was just some kids messing around. But as I turned to leave, I saw it, a small, handwritten note stuck between the headstone and the dirt. It read, "I'm still here." My heart racing, I returned to the cottage and tried to shake off the feeling of unease. But as the nights went by, the scratching continued, and I found myself becoming more and more entangled in the mystery. I started to research Emily's life, poring over old records and talking to local historians. What I found was disturbing. Emily had died under mysterious circumstances, and there were rumors of her being buried alive. I tried to tell myself it was just small town legend. But the more I learned, the more I realized that there was some truth to it. One night, as I was walking through the cemetery, I stumbled upon a hidden path I had never seen before. It was overgrown with weeds and vines, but it seemed to lead to a specific grave, Emily's. I felt a strange pull, as if I was being drawn to the grave. And as I approached, the scratching started again. This time, it was louder, more insistent, and I could feel the vibrations of the sound beneath my feet. Suddenly, the dirt on top of the grave began to shift, and I saw a hand emerge from the darkness. It was Emily's, and it was reaching out to me. I tried to run, but my feet felt rooted to the spot. The hand grasped my ankle, pulling me down into the darkness. As I fell, I saw Emily's face, her eyes black as coal, and her skin decaying. She whispered a single word in my ear, "Mine." And then, everything went black. When I came to, I was lying in the cottage, my head throbbing with pain. It was dawn, and the sun was streaming through the windows. I stumbled out into the cemetery, and that's when I saw it. The grave was open, and the headstone was lying on the ground, broken in two. The note was still there, but this time, it read, "You're mine now." I never went back to that cemetery again, but I still hear the scratching in my dreams, and when I do, I know that Emily is still out there, waiting for me, her hand reaching out from the darkness, pulling me back to the grave.